Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain-Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. I am delighted to bring you another live collaboration conversation. And my guest co-host today is a gentleman who empowers aspiring managers. I love this. Empower. I can't even speak this morning. We are live, real and raw, folks. He empowers aspiring managers to be effective leaders by helping them to create a life that matches their vision and the values. And that is so important today, isn't it, Rahul?
Absolutely,
There's
absolutely.
such a need for it. Rahul, would you share a bit about your journey with us and who you serve and why?
Absolutely. Thank you, Regina, for the quick introduction and having me here on the show. I have been in the corporate world for over 25 years. And in this 25 years, I have had an opportunity to help individuals nurture their leadership talent. And in 2016, it was a journey that I took to meet the legendary Les Brown in Tampa, Florida. And that's where things got changed for me. I found my purpose of helping others through my story, helping the community to become better in their own aspirations and fulfilling their life through positive mindset. So that's something I've been doing so far. After coming out from corporate world, I have started my entrepreneurial journey, and I'm working as a public speaker, leadership coach, mindset coach, as well as a training facilitator. The inspiration that I had in 2016 didn't materialize overnight. It took few years, and just January I started. That inspiration also led me to write my books, Be Action Oriented and Habits for Miracles. And today, I proudly support the first time managers, accidental leaders, as well as students who are transitioning from campus to corporate. And this I do through my one on one coaching as well as transformational workshop. So that's where I am, and I am proudly serving this community. Any corporations, any individuals who is looking to build a positive change in themselves, create their own miracles, I will be the person who will be working with them. So that's about me, Regina. You are on mute.
Can you hear me okay? I had to change my microphone system due to some outside noise. So, okay. Excellent. I love that, Rahul. And again, such a need for that. And helping people transition to that leadership, to those leadership skills so early in their career, what a difference that makes over the long haul. And again, that ripple effect that occurs from that, right? Because the more successful they are in the beginning in being a good leader, the more lives they're going to impact.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the key reason is most of us, we get training on leadership once we take on the role. And I
Yes.
believe that is too late.
Yes.
So early we
Agreed.
start preaching and teaching on leadership. It will be better for the community, better for the corporate world, and better for the families of those leaders. They will
Yes.
live a very stress-free life.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So, Rahul, you have brought an amazing group of women to join the show this morning. I'm so excited to meet each of them and learn more about what they're doing. Would you please introduce each of them individually, have them share about their journey, who they serve, and why?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's my pleasure to host, to be the co-host, and have the amazing guests from around the world. So we have a global community here, and I will go in the alphabetical order. So I will introduce Alyssa. Alyssa comes from Boston. She is the CEO of American Confidence Institute, and she is aspiring leaders to become more confident leaders. So, Alyssa, welcome to the show. Can you please tell the listeners what you do and how you serve our community?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So
Mhm.
much like you, Rahul, I was a corporate, I'll go so far to say cog for a long time. And I was following the marketing track, and I reached really the top of the level as a chief marketing officer for a couple companies. And I'll admit, admitted then that it was a job, right? And so I think I was already primed to really start thinking about what is the greater purpose and what do I want to do. About 15, almost maybe 18 years ago now, my son, who's now 25, was diagnosed with a neurological condition that really threw all of us into a quandary about not only how can we help him, but when we would go to some of the best doctors in the world, not just in Boston, not just in New York, but literally all over the world, I started to see in their eyes they really didn't know what they were talking about. You know, they had their limited sense of information, and you were talking about neuroscientists, right? These are top of the food chain. So at some point, after trying all kinds of medications and injections and, you know, my poor son and everything that we had to go through in that time, I was like, it's enough. And I started to look at not only alternative medicine techniques, but brain science was starting to come about. And we had some really fabulous technology, the functional MRI, that opened up that world at about that time. So I dug into that deeply. The moral of the story is it really taught me about the brain in a way that not only did I crack some of the codes for what allows people to be confident or not. So that is the foundation of American Confidence Institute, but all those doctors from Harvard and MIT and School of London and you name it, they are now, endorsers of the work that I do. In 2019, I had another one of those moments where it's like, this is great. We're teaching coaches, people who want to coach. We're teaching leaders how to apply the brain science to this idea of confidence. And one of the types of groups that kept calling me were these employee resource groups. So if you do work in any kind of a larger organization, government, corporate, nonprofit, you probably have something like that. If not an ERG, then it's called an affinity group or a BRG, what have you. And so started to go down that path. And little did I know, not only some of the greatest human beings, fighting for equity and inclusion and all the things that I really value, but just really eager to learn. So bringing not just the confidence work, but now we built a company called the ERG Leadership Alliance. And we support 25,000 organizations representing 42 million underserved people around the world. So that's how my journey kind of is at the moment.
Amazing. Just going back to how you started really makes a difference. And knowing how the brain functions is the game changer. I mean, that's what that matters, because everything we do, we think first and then take action. So thank you, Alyssa, for all the amazing thing you are doing.
Thank you.
Next, we will go with Bijal. So Bijal comes from UK. She is a human design expert, mindset coach, as well as the radio host. So she is amazing in her work, and she is really changing life in the education world in her territory. So Bijal, welcome to the show. Can you please tell our listeners what you do and how you serve the community?
Thank you, Rahul. It's so wonderful to be here. So my name's Bijal Shah, and I am a human design, lifestyle and mindset coach. And I'm also the host of the Mindset Lounge show on Interbeats Radio 106.5 FM. So that's every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. But it wasn't always like that. So my background is in education. So I'm a former head teacher. And I think internationally in the UK, internationally, you may call it school principal. So I was quite young when I became a school principal. My parents from immigrant families remortgaged their house to send me to a very lovely private school. So I had the best of British, but my home life was not that. So my parents sacrificed everything for me. And I really did have a wonderful, wonderful education. And with that comes a lot of pressure, comes a lot of expectation. So I thought that's what you do in life. You work really hard to get really far and try and do something that you love. But, if you've got a good pension and you've got a good salary, what have you got to complain about? And my, journey in education was positive. I worked internationally. I worked in the UK. I rose very quickly because I had that aspiration in me. And I had that inspiration and aspiration in me because I had it from school, I had it from my background, and I was always into personal development and mindset things and, positivity, and always trying to work on myself. So when I became a head teacher and I was asked to take on a school that requires improvement and to take it to good, I thought, yes, absolutely. Now, during that journey, I did have these feelings of I'm not really happy, and where's the creativity, and there's got to be more to life. But I would never dare to complain because I was conditioned. I was conditioned to do well. So when I made it as a school principal, I thought, right, that's my life. I'll do this for the rest of my life until, boom, something happened in our lives that we were all part of that made us have some deep reflections, and that was the pandemic. All of a sudden, I was responsible for keeping a community safe, and well-being started coming up again and again. And for the first time, I started thinking about my well-being and going deep into what my needs were. And it was so terrifying that I often just ignored my own thoughts. So one day I was walking and I was listening to a podcast, a little bit anxious of what's going on in schools, etc. But, we had a good team, so we did it. And I came across a podcast that talked about the human design system. And immediately I thought, what is this? I've got to learn it. I don't care what it is. I know it's for me. I just had this initial hit. So the human design system is a self-discovery tool, and it's based on your exact birth information. So the time, the location, where you're born. And it's believed that when you are born, the universal energies, the planetary alignments, the stars, they're all in a particular place. So when you are born, you come through that stream of energy, which is called the neutrino stream, and you become imprinted with certain qualities and traits, and that is your human design blueprint. So I thought this is something different, and I thought, okay, hang on. I started looking at my own chart, and I started discovering so many things about myself that actually, if I admit it, I already knew, but it gave me permission to kind of be who I really was on the inside. And I learned that how and where I was conditioned and how it can impact my life. So I was coaching other head teachers at the time and other teachers during the pandemic. I mean, it really, really was a successful time for me in that way, because everybody's well-being was impacted and they knew that I was a qualified and experienced coach. So with one or two of my colleagues, I said, do you want to read your human design chart? Are you into this? And they found it profoundly interesting, and they started making massive changes. And as a coach, alignment is everything to us. We have to make sure that our words and our actions are congruent. And for the first time, it became easy for me to understand if somebody was aligned with what they were saying. Human design transformed my life. And that's why I was able to make the transition from a really good career, like so many, into what I do now, which is mindset and, promoting the human design lifestyle. So now I use the human design discovery system, the self-discovery system, to help people to leverage and discover their own innate traits that they're born with, so that they can live a life of alignment, authenticity, and purpose. And I'm finding that more and more people are interested in this. They're finding it to be a way of giving them permission to be themselves. And lots of people, entrepreneurs, fitness instructors, team dynamics, people are very interested. And I do think after the pandemic that it was a calling, and the world is ready for it. So I'm really happy to be here today and share that with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Vijay, for all the amazing thing you are doing. And I do believe that there is some correlation when we are born. Those stars, they have some correlation. So thank you for bringing it up to the corporate world and the education world. Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next guest is an influencer, a podcast host, and soon to be a TV host. Gianna, welcome to the show. And I know you are doing amazing things for the community with your label-free podcast and all the other great things. Please tell our audience, what do you do? How do you serve the community?
Good morning, Rahul. Good morning, ladies. And Ashish, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the generous introduction. So yes, I am the host of Label Free Podcasts. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm one of the top 0.5% of podcasters in the world. So I've really worked really hard to get it there, but it hasn't always been a straight line to victory, right? So I'm a survivor of human trafficking. I was married to a very successful man. We had 5 large businesses. He passed away 9 years ago, and I had to rebuild my life. And so I was the vice president of key accounts and business operations. We had about 150 employees, did about 20 million in sales. I had actually doubled the size of the business before he passed with the $20 million contract with the state of South Carolina. So I had the whole world. I was at the top, and then he passed away, and I lost everything. And so I had to rebuild my life over the last 9 years. During that time, I tried to be a fashion designer because I obviously am very colorful. I'm very creative. I love to exercise that creative tool that I have. I did my last collection for an event here in Chicago against human trafficking. And I decided after my 3rd collection, if I didn't take off, that was it. I wasn't going to keep throwing good money after bad. So at that point, I was like, what's next? I'm type A, probably like all of you here this morning on the show. And I got an email on how to start a podcast. And I was like, I don't know who that's what I think I am, but I'm starting a podcast. At that point, I had been working very hard on myself, kind of dealing with all that trauma. I do come from a broken home. My father was very abusive. And I just, I just came to a point in my life where I had to drop the labels for myself. And this has been a very interesting journey over the last 5 years, really seeing what it means to other people and what it means in society and means around the world. And it really has resonated with people globally. And I'm at a point where I'm taking the show to TV, which is very exciting. And it's going to obviously take myself to a new level. But during this, I am a certified life coach. So I'm starting to become a confidence coach as well because of just my experience and the things that I have gone through and have to overcome. So it's been very exciting and very enlightening at the same time. So that's a little bit about my story.
Awesome. So you have built things from scratch and based on all the experience you are bringing life to your own life as well as to others. So thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Rahul.
All right, our next guest comes from Switzerland, the other part of the world. She is a corporate diva, has been in the corporate world for over 20 years, and now starting her entrepreneurial journey as a career coach. Desiree, welcome to the show. Please tell our audience what you do, how you do, and who are the people that you are serving.
Thank you so much for that generous introduction, Rahul. I'm so excited to be here. This is one of my first speaking events globally, so I'm very appreciative to have that opportunity. Like you said, I'm a budding entrepreneur, a late bloomer, but it's never too late to live your dreams, right? So my journey really started many, many years ago, and then had an inflection point just a few months ago. I realized to myself that I have been coaching and mentoring people for decades of work, of pouring effort and love into helping people develop. And I just didn't realize it. And a few months ago, I parted ways with my employer, and I had to do this whole self-reflection about who am I? What's my purpose? What are my career anchors? Where do I want to go? And all of this started swimming in my brain. There's so many fish in there trying to align themselves on a common goal. And I started to, use this whole collaboration method of connecting to people, which brought me to Rahul because I saw his profile and I was like, I got to get connected with this guy because you know what? We think alike. We're swimming in the same direction and he can bring so much to me. So this is where my journey is. And it's really taking me to a place where I feel happy in the morning now. I wake up with a big smile on my face. And throughout the entire day, I'm trying to transfer all that positive energy I have to everybody around me. So if I get a smile out of someone, a giggle out of someone, it's like it makes my day. And if I can help them to progress in their pathways, in their careers, in the way they want to work, that's what it's all about. So I'm really a career coach and mentor. That's the real label I have after spending many, many years in the corporate environment. That's who I am. So I discovered this a few months ago, and now it's time to make it happen. So that dream is what I'm going to live the next little while as I continue on my journey of life. Now, everyone has different audiences, and mine is, of all the people that I've had interactions with, I've started, there's young people who want to figure out what their motivations are. And to be honest with you, I started with my own teenage daughter, so a 16-year-old, and I tell you, that's a challenge by itself. And then there's students, they're deciding on their orientation, what gives them purpose. So often we see university students, they're switching focus mid-journey, due to a disconnection with their true selves. Now, these are the conversations that I've been having with some of them. So I think there's a lot of area for development and, providing this service to help people to progress. It's there and it should be, utilized and empowered. And then there's the earlier career people who want to advance. Now, this has been my corporate life, is helping managers progress, even not managers, all levels. Do you want to progress and be promoted? Do you want to climb that ladder? Let me help you. And it's all about mentoring and coaching and installing the right behaviors that will lead to the progression in their careers. And the last but not least is people like myself, that when we reach this pivotal point where we're wondering, where do I want to go next? This needs facilitation. You need to talk with other people. You need to share experience with other people to find the answers to your unique story. And this is what I like doing, helping people think, where do you want to go? What is the answers you're looking for? Let me ask you those questions. Let me help you on that journey. So this is where I am right now. We all have fears, we all have desires, but above all, I have a strong feeling that you need to do something when you wake up in the morning, and you have to be happy. We only live once. I've been reminded of that many times in the last month. We only live once. Life is short, and we need to get out there and go and do what makes us happy and gives back to our communities.
Awesome. Thank you. I think your positivity is contagious, Desiree, and I'm very confident that whoever will connect with you will see that positive coming their way.
Thank you so much.
All right. So the last guest, his association with me is as old as my career, because I met him almost 25 years ago when I was starting my career in a networking event in Mumbai. So Ashish comes from Mumbai. He has held various corporate roles in the human resource department, and he is on a mission. He has created a global community of HR professionals called HR Shapers. And he is going all out to make sure that the HR community is knit and they are helping each other. So thank you, Ashish, for joining on this show. Would appreciate you sharing what you are doing, how you're doing, and how you are helping build HR Shapers, a global concept.
Hey, Rahul. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. So I'm from Mumbai. It's a good evening for us. Sorry, I joined late because I was confused with the timing. That's what it happened. But yeah, good to see, beautiful faces and diversified people from a different part of the world. And great to hear a story from each one of you. So we are in a situation, we are in a, era where, lot of challenges, opportunities are there. Every part of the world is growing. And that's where it starts from that, what you should be remembered for, what you're doing right now, which can really help maximum number of people, maximum number of, anything, which you say the individual or the community or the ecosystem. Yeah. So I'm basically a HR professional, more than 2.5 decade experience from India, worked in a Capgemini last, where I was there for 11 years into HR shared services. Yes, me and Rahul, have been together since many years. And this community is a global community. We are there in each location of India first. And then we are there outside India, whether you talk about Middle East, Southeast Asia, USA, Canada, and Africa. The objective is to reach out to the maximum number of people who can really benefit from the market movement in terms of HR. I hope each one of us know HR. If we not relate to the corporate, but we are dealing with the human on daily basis, on every minute basis. So how do we deal with the human? and in last 2 years we have seen empathy become more important than the business. There were so many business opportunity with each one of us, but if what people are not there, if motivated people are not there, if energetic people are not there, and we don't provide any support to them, we will not be able to get the business ahead. I will pause here, Rahul, for a short intro, and then we'll come back to the second round.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashish. I know you are selflessly doing what you do, and really appreciate it, what the work you are doing for the community. All right, over to you, Regina, for the next segment.
Fantastic. And Ashish, just a note, if you will pop in your contact information into the private chat as we move forward, that will be really helpful. So one of the things that I noticed, first of all, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to have you all here. Rahul, what a great job you've done of pulling together an amazing group of people. And I'm really excited about this next 30 minutes here where we get to learn a lot more from them. But as I listened to your stories, one of the things that I heard over and over was reinvention. Right? That came through loud and clear, this reinvention. So let's start off with the question of how has collaboration impacted your reinvention and moving forward with your dreams and visions in your life? And we will just have a free-flowing discussion here. So whoever feels like they'd like to contribute first, if I see you unmute your mic or I see your head nodding or you smiling, I'm going to call on you.
So I would say that the collaboration, the way it has helped me is identifying my own blind spots, collaborating with coaches, collaborating with trusted colleagues. They were the ones who shared with me what I was not able to see. And they were also able to see the potential. They were also able to see the opportunities that are lying ahead of me. So had that not been the case, where I would not interacted with different groups of people, diverse group of people, probably I would not be bold enough to take the entrepreneurial journey that I have taken. So I really thank all my colleagues as well as coaches, because they allowed me to reinvent myself. They allowed me to really identify that core passion and help the community.
Excellent. Excellent. Desiree?
Yeah, so this is why Rahul and I get along so well. I think we have the same brain. I think we have the same brain, because I think the whole collaboration part for me with this reinventing myself was giving me the courage to take the risk, to take that step. So get off the fence and choose. Know what you want and go get it. So I think collaboration is super important. It's very powerful to help you, like you said, see your blind spots and also encourage you on what your strengths are. So they say that you have superhero powers. Like, what is your superhero power? Make it happen and share that with the world, because there's so many people who want to see you for who you are.
Love it. Bijal?
Yeah, so just extending on some of the points that have already been made. In this life, part two, not do, second time round, I've really learned that collaboration is an energetic exchange. And obviously, being a human design lifestyle coach, for me, I have to consider whether the collaborations that I enter into are aligned with my own innate energy field. So does it make me feel good? Okay. And I've learned that, collaboration is not just tit for tat. So we use that expression here in England, I can do this because you can do that. It's actually moving towards more of a deeper way. So when I collaborate now, and move into those deeper parts, I have to have those deeper reflections, because that's what really creates the impact. And it's not always a 50-50 and understanding that in collaboration, people don't do their equal parts because it's not necessary. Sometimes you have to do more or they have to do more, but that's because you might have a skill, or they might have, for example, the funds, or they might have the platforms that you need access to, but actually they need you because you've got skills and knowledge and purposeful expressions to help their platform come along. But it's not always equal parts, and understanding that collaboration is actually outcomes focused, but it goes deeper than that. It's impact focused. And it doesn't matter how you get to that point of impact. It just matters that you get there, you know? So
Yes.
in this world, I've been so lucky to have had so many people you know, see me and recognize me. Even though human design is transitioning and people are starting to come on board, I'm actually finding that there are professionals out there who can see that it is the changing world and it is the time, and giving me that opportunity. And also I have to do my part, which is make it digestible, you know, make it practical, make it so that it is purposeful in the world. So they are the things that I've learned to this point right now.
I loved what you said about it not being equal necessarily. The most successful business I ever had was a staffing firm, and I entered into that with a partner, and he provided the location. He put $1,000 in, and I put in sweat equity. You know, but it you know, equalized out, and the contributions, although they were quite different, created, you know, we created a very successful venture together. So yeah, it's not always equal. Tiana?
I love collaborating. Like today, we're collaborating right now. We've come together, and you never know what's going to come out of being here together, showing up for one another, and having these conversations. My whole business, my podcast, is revolved around collaborating with people. I get out there and I network and I meet someone, and I always have every conversation. Someone sends me an email, wants to get on the phone. I take every call because I never know what's going to come out of that call, and usually it's something great. And so my podcast has grown around talking about collaborations where we're going to, you know, just having those like conversations of like, how can we elevate each other? How can we get to the next level? How can we support one another? I actually just had an in-person interview yesterday here locally with someone that I collaborate a lot with. She is my photographer. She's my videographer. Out of that interview, she got another opportunity to help elevate her business. So even though she showed up for me, I was able to provide an opportunity for her that's going to take her to another level. So I'm always open to having a conversation, seeing how I can support someone else or how we can support each other. And just like, I think that in this world that we live in, and with all the technology that we have, we are able to have a more powerful impact with collaborating together.
Yes. Excellent. Love it. Love it. Alyssa?
Thank you. You know, when I started the American Confidence Institute, I had this like wish that I could really work with and for people that I liked. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a little selfish. I, you know, in hindsight, I could say, well, that was, you know, pretty haughty, but you know, here's the thing, life is short. And I think there are opportunities to collaborate that are not always healthy. One of the things that I learned at this really interesting, it was really out there. Some of the top neuroscientists were talking about the fact that they know that there is a brainwave that's higher level than alpha that allows us to kind of immediately make a judgment. We talk about having chemistry with people, right? And I thought to myself, you know what? I think that's something we need to pay attention to, like in our heads, in our hearts. And I talk a lot about the brain and body connection. That's Raul's on my podcast. We did a lot of that conversation about, you know, paying attention to the way we feel when we meet people. And I'm very lucky. I get to do presentations and I'm at meetings and things all the time. Thousands of people are in my world. And every now and then somebody shows up and I'm like, that's a person I need to like really work with. You know, over the years, built some friendships like that. That's kind of the way it rocks. A lot of business opportunities. But I think the reality is that you also don't want to have people who just agree with you all the time, right? Yeah. And I think that was the lesson that I finally learned. And on my team, we have a really incredible team at the ERG Leadership Alliance. A lot of my staff knows that I want them to tell me when I'm full of myself. I want them to tell me if they think they have a better idea. And that's really hard to do when you're forgive me for saying it, young and feisty and full of your own stuff, right? As we get older, we know from the data, we have hordes of data here at the Institute, that we get more confident because we finally let go about what other people think about us, and we go down the lane of this is who I am, what I want to do. But, again, that balance of working with people you love and at the same time working with people that love you enough to tell you the truth. Yeah. Without, by being kind and helpful, but at the same time, not being so judgmental yourself, that you can collaborate with people who actually do have a different perspective than you do.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. Ashish, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks. So this very interesting question and good input coming. So see, first of all, we need to do assessment. Self-assessment is very much important to do anything to start, sometimes we overdo the things. Okay. We also need to look at, we are in a which kind of position, which kind of role, okay, which kind of situation, and which are the pillar of the collaboration. Sometimes you are only the pillar of the collaboration. You don't need to talk to people. You don't need to talk to the system. You don't need to take help of anybody else, because most of the information lies with you. First of all, you need to gather those information and see now where do you need the help. And 50% problem or 50% issue can be sorted out if you just talk to yourself, check it out. Okay, this is the place where I am. I need to go here, and where are the gaps, and who can help. It can be people, it can be surrounding, it can be system, it can be, many other things which can help, but you need to really identify it right now, where are you? Okay. And obviously in day-to-day work, see, collaboration start from your home. If you are living with more than one person, you need to do the collaboration. Each human being is different. When they talk differently. You need to understand them. They will also understand with you. Yeah. So it's obviously key for a not for a growth. I would say key for a survival. Yeah. Yeah. Because see, what you want to hear, it doesn't mean that people will say the same thing. People will understand the same thing. You need to talk in their language in case you want things to be get it done.
Excellent. What you said and what Alyssa said kind of leads into another question here that you some of you touched on this a little bit, but I'd like to go a little deeper. And so, like Alyssa talked about, or others in the group as well, talked about feelings and how you feel about feeling good about things. I'll put it that way. But what other criterion do you use in deciding who to collaborate with? And what are you looking for from a good collaborative partner? So what are some of the criterion that you use to decide who you're going to collaborate with? Because, a bad collaboration is not fun. And so just like Ashish just said, we need to do self-assessment. I think we need to do an assessment of those people or whoever we're looking at partnering with as well. There needs to be some elements of assessment there. What are those for you? What criterion are you using to determine if this can be a good collaboration? Rahul?
So for me, the way I look at it, there is, unfortunately, we cannot read people's mind. So we do not know what's going on in their mind, but I have control over mine. So I look at two things: the intent of me collaborating with them and how I'm able to make an impact. So the intent has to be right. So intent is the positive intent. Always give, without remembering, and receive without forgetting. So that is the mindset I have. So my intent is right, and I always go above and beyond to build that trust in that relationship, because it's the trust and accountability are two things which is the cornerstone for any relationship. So I need to build that trust by making sure that I'm accountable, by making sure that they count on me. And I want to just not provide value. I want to create value. So providing value is one thing, sharing the knowledge, but I want to create value. So I only have control on my own self. So I look at just my own intent and impact, and then work with a very open mind to provide all the support that I can. I'm not intending that, okay, how will I get money for this collaboration? How will I make revenue? That is not the intent. Yes, the end goal is to revenue generate, but it is not with that one interaction or one collaboration. I understand God is kind, and if you do good, people will do good to you. So that's with that mindset and positivity, I go with collaboration.
Excellent. Excellent. Bijal?
So, yeah, just extending on what you said there, Rahul, I would also say that when I'm collaborating with others, I always look for those people who have integrity that I can trust, but also within the collaboration, they want to build a relationship, because one collaboration can lead to a different type. And just going from what Deanna said, I suppose I would call it label-free collaboration, because sometimes we put too many labels on collaborations. Oh, it's a professional one. Oh, it's to do with self-development. Oh, okay, no, it's an informal one, or, you know. But actually, I like to think and go deeper. When I'm working with the person, I'm all about relationships, because I know opportunities come from relationships and they're mutually beneficial. So yes, we're entering into this collaboration because you can do this and I can do that. But what else can you do? What else can I do? Get to know you as a person, because, you know, we have that in education. We have teachers who teach, right? But actually, there are some teachers who are good at knitting, crocheting, some people who are really good at organizing, you know, yoga events or retreats, or in their spare time, they do interesting things. So when I get into a collaboration, it's about understanding what that person or people or team that I'm collaborating with, getting to know them. What else can you do? Because then you can make that an evolving collaboration, and it could lead to something else and something else. And that's the beauty of collaboration. It's the power of collaboration.
Yes, completely agree. We're not looking for a one-time event, right? We're looking for long-term relationship. Desiree?
Yeah, I'd like to add to that thread a little bit, because collaboration, like I think there's two modes of collaboration. There's ones that you choose to do and ones that you have to do. And I think the common thread across those is about building trust. Like you said, Bijal, it's about building trust with the other person, to meeting them halfway, having them meet you the other halfway, because it's bi-directional. They need to know you. You need to know them. You need to understand what their strengths are, and they need to understand what yours are. I find that when you put all this together, you get something which I always call collective genius. That is crashing the barriers of what we don't do well, but bringing and building a wall of everything we do well together. And I think that is that choice is always there. You don't always get to do what you want, right? But you have to collaborate with people, and you have to find what is the best from them, and help them also to utilize that in the best way. So for me, that has always been the case. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter where, context. I need to collaborate. I need to be able to communicate effectively. I need to find and try to read that person to see what would help me to build a rapport with them and create that relationship, and vice versa. Because a lot of times I've been working with people who perhaps lack the skills to come forward and create the relationship. So I try to pull them towards me at the same time by really trying to transmit positive energy to them, to say, come, I'm ready. I'm here to help you to create this relationship. So collaboration, there's many facets to it, and we have to deal with all of it. And I think it's from the best of people that best things come from.
Excellent. I think too, also adding to what you just said there, Desiree, is that sometimes people aren't ready. And so even though you are doing your best to bring out the best in them and to have this collaboration work, sometimes they're just not ready. And we need to be able to recognize that and step back, right?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's where you can actually leverage other people within a group.
Exactly.
To help you to build that rapport, because they might have it with someone else. And a lot of times, for me, I've always been the senior person in the group, right? Very often the senior person, which causes a little bit of an intimidation that happens, which is not intentional. It's just perhaps by hierarchy that it happens, right?
Yes.
So what I do is I kind of turn this around and find somebody in the group that's going to help me to reach out to that person, that we can build the rapport to get the results that we're trying to achieve.
Excellent. Love that. Love that.
Regina,
Alyssa.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I think maybe is a little bit of my superpower, probably a little bit of everyone's, is that when you're collaborating with multiple people, not only might they not be ready, they just may not be able to. And what I mean by that is they may want to take in all the information and then process it and come back later with their opinion, or they may be just somebody who's quiet, doesn't feel like they have a voice. So facilitating that ability for people to collaborate in the way that they want to and can, that is so important. So not always being the leader or the person who's, here's my idea, but more making sure that everybody else is in a place that they feel safe and able to contribute. I think that is a true way to look at collaboration. I really, I think everyone who you meet, again, you may have to adjust a little bit in your own style, but I think the reality is that we have to pay attention to other people's abilities and desires to really make collaboration effective.
Yes, agreed. Deanna?
For me, it's all about the energy. So if I meet someone, their energy has got to be what Desiree was saying earlier about that positive energy, because having a bad collaboration, as you mentioned, could be really hard. And I've experienced that. And so for me, so that it's good for both people or all people that's involved, got to bring that. I bring my energy. I'm showing up all the time, integrity. I'm here. If someone else cannot meet that same level for me, then that's just not a good fit. And you have got to be at a place where you know that for yourself and for your business, for your brand, whatever, that if someone is not going to bring the same energy that you're bringing, it's just not a good reflection for you, and it probably won't turn out very well. So I go about the energy. I like I said, I take every call, and if it sounds good, feels good, I'm doing it. I'm showing up. I'm there for you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to promote you, all those good things. But sometimes we don't mesh with everyone, and that's okay.
It is okay, isn't it? And I think that's really important for us to recognize, is that not every situation is going to be a good collaboration. And the sooner we recognize that and can step back from it, the better. And it doesn't mean we judge that other person or other individuals. It's just not the right mix. It's okay. It's okay. Ashish?
Okay. So, we deal with two types of things. One is known circle, second is unknown circle. Okay. And both has a different point of view. Let's say right now I'm in the unknown circle. So except Rahul, I don't know each one of you. In case I want to build up a relationship, talk to you, then perhaps, I need to take a baby step, right? But if there are 5 people like Rahul, whom I know since many years, I will take a liberty to talk anything and go jump and then, do X, Y, Z, right? So energy is most important. What you are talking, on what basis, what is there for me, what is there for you in the overall conversation, in the process, that's more important, which kind of group you are dealing with, okay, and what they are carrying along with you, So if I report to CEO, so how do I collaborate with CEO, and how do I collaborate at the same time with my team member, so I need to play 2-3 different roles, and at the same time peers, and then at the same time customer. Okay, so where where I need to do the proactive role, where I need to play the defensive role, and then understand the person and situation. Accordingly, I need to behave. Obviously, trust, and then, the communication, these are the basic thing everybody need to follow. But the most important is what is there for them. Am I subject matter expertise where somebody can really respect and say, okay, fine, I need to talk to this guy because he knows. Or junior guy, the team member say, okay, let's go to him, let's go to her, because guy will somehow give the solution and perhaps understand. And you as an individual need to at least acknowledge, not to do anything else, just acknowledge, depend upon the situation, go one step ahead, or let them take a decision, let them take a call. So I think just hear them out. And if you are in a situation where you need to speak, you need to talk to and share many things, what you're carrying.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Well, folks, we are at the end of our time here for our conversation. So we're going to move into our wrap-up round. First of all, thank you all for your contributions. I really appreciate it. It was a great discussion. Rahul, I'm going to turn the time over to you now to run this wrap-up round to get everybody's final thoughts on collaboration and their contact information. And while you do that, I'll pop their contact information into the comments.
Awesome. So I'll start with my guest again in the alphabetical order. So Ashish, I would want you to share with our audience your final thoughts on collaboration and how they can reach you and get connected.
Okay, so I'm there on the screen. It doesn't mean that I know everything. Okay, so first of all, you as an individual obviously talk to yourself. There are many information lying with each one of us. Where problem can be sorted out easily. Yes, I'm HR professional. If anything you're looking for from HR point of view at the local level, global level, most welcome. We need to obviously do the collaboration over there, knowing each other, understanding what you're looking for, what I can provide, and what I can help. And at the same time, vice versa, many things will go. Sometime frequency will match, sometime it will not. Yeah. It's all depend upon interest. It's all depend upon many other thing and combination. If packaging is good for each one of us, definitely, it will go far away.
Awesome. How your connections can reach you, Ashish?
I'm there on the LinkedIn. I can share the link, but the problem is it's already crossed 30,000.
Okay.
So except doing the follow option, there is no other way people can really connect. But yeah, email ID, the phone number, WhatsApp is the fastest way of communication, and that's where we can do the collaboration.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for being here. Alyssa, your final thoughts on collaboration and how our listeners can get reach out to you.
Thank you so much. First of all, it was such a pleasure being on the stage with all of you. So thank you for inviting me, Rahul. I hope we get to do lots more fun things.
Absolutely.
It is a lonely world, right? I think even if you're in a corporate office, sometimes you don't even know the person who's next to you in the next cubicle. And many of us are remote warriors. So, I encourage everyone to make it a habit just to say hello to somebody. And one of the things that we talk about the Institute is the sense of belonging is the root of all confidence. So if you can just let somebody know that you notice that they're there, that you're happy that you're sharing that space, that minute, let them know that they matter. It is the greatest gift you can give anyone. So I make a habit of doing that every day. I hope some of you will do that too, because boy, the world needs some more confidence and we all need more connection and belonging and collaboration. So that would be my final thought. On the AmericanConfidenceInstitute.com website, there's lots of free goodies. There's a free self-check if you're interested in doing that. It's kind of fun to do. You of course, have a podcast that is very popular, and Rahul was on one of my guests, so check that one out for sure. If you're interested in being a certified coach, we just had 5 more people graduate yesterday, so it's a really great program as well to become a confidence coach, and e-class and all kinds of other goodies. And on the ergleadershipalliance.com, if that's something you're interested, diversity, inclusion, belonging, lots of free stuff there as well. Those are the 2 best routes. And of course, LinkedIn. I know, Regina, you're posting that. I love to hear from people. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Alyssa. Bijal, over to you. Your thoughts on collaboration and how people can reach to you.
So I think it's really important to understand that collaborations are invitations, and invitations last for a short time or a long time, can be a few weeks, can be a few years, etc., anything in between. And I think it's really important to tap in to the energy of the collaboration and constantly reflect and have check-ins, because is the collaboration working? Do you need to bring other people in? Do we need to evolve somehow, get new systems in? If you don't have those check-in points, then it can't evolve as positively and effectively as it could, because the invitations only last for so long, right? also understanding that collaborations need to be deep now. So we live in a world where inclusion, diversity, and equality are very much on the agenda, and we can apply those things to collaboration. How diverse are our collaborations? You know, how well are we getting to know the people, and how well are we getting to understand that they are capable of doing much more than what the objective of the collaboration is? Always using collaborations as an opportunity to build those relationships. You know, as we said before, I think Deanna, you said it, I think Desiree, you said it, it's all about energy, you know, and energy ebbs and it flows. So tap in. And it's a real opportunity to understand that people don't always have to do equal amounts in collaborations, okay? And that's okay. We're taught that you do your part, but actually it's about the outcome, and the outcome is about the impact. And you can connect with me at thinklinklead.com. I'm on Instagram at thinklinklead. I'm on LinkedIn, Bijal Shah. And you can join me on the Mindset Lounge on 106.5 FM Interbeats Radio every Monday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. I also post a 5-minute soundbite on social media as well. And, you know, you can always connect with me, WhatsApp, you know, DM messages as well. It would be my pleasure and my honor.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Bijal. Deanna, over to you. What are your final thoughts on collaboration and how our amazing listeners can reach out to you?
Well, it's hard to say much more after all these ladies are sharing such great advice. My best friend used to say, we're not as divided as we are disconnected, right? So when we have an opportunity to collaborate, we are able to connect with someone else. And really, I think with social media and technology, we aren't able to really have a human connection as we used to back in the day. So we have to find a way to really connect even more when we're seeing each other on the screen or when we see someone in person. And when we connect and able to collaborate and just kind of bring our ideas together and make them happen, it really creates magic, and it creates that energy that I think that we are missing in this world, especially after COVID and after all the things that we've been through. It's been a little traumatic for a lot of people. And so for me, you know, if I have 50 plus phone calls a week with people that want to be on the show, even if that person is not a good fit for my show, I typically can think of someone that I can connect them with, that they're going to be able to have a great collaboration. And so for me, that to me is a success, right? Even if it's not a good fit for me in my show, I've actually done it for 3 ladies this week already, and I feel good about it. I'm like, okay, they're going to have a great collaboration. These are going to be speaking opportunities for them, and that they're going to make a difference and an impact because I was able to make that connection. So we are not as divided as we are disconnected, and we need to find ways to connect even further with people.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And Deanna, how people can reach out to you, please?
Yes, I forgot that part. Well, Label Free Podcast, everything. I'm on LinkedIn, Deanna Kempel. I know it's different here, but I got married last year, so I haven't changed everything. But labelfreepodcast.com, Instagram, Label Free Podcasts, all the things Label Free Podcasts. So you can message me. I'm very responsive, obviously, and I'd love to hear from anyone if they'd like to connect with me.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Deanna. Desiree, your final thoughts on collaborations and how our listeners can reach to you.
Last but not least, but I'm going to make it short and sweet. So I think collaboration is about creating connections, creating rapport, creating a common cause. Now I'm going to show you something. This is a Rubik's Cube. I'm such a geek. I love Rubik's Cube. So I'm going to show you something really cool. That when you create one collaboration, right, you put one in space, you can actually create another one. And that leads to exponential opportunity. So keep going with collaboration. Make it top priority for yourself. And on that, I'm going to say, feel free to contact me here on LinkedIn. Follow me on my new Instagram at Desiree Galichet, or contact me at info@desireegalichet.com. I'm just starting, so things are under construction. So thanks a lot for your patience, and follow me on my journey as I move along.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So before I give to Regina, my final thoughts on collaboration is always give without remembering and receive without forgetting. And be humble. We all may not be able to help everyone, but we may know someone who may be of help. So be kind, be humble to people who are coming to collaborate with you. Go out of your way to support them. And last but not the least, don't think that this is not the time, I will do tomorrow. Today is the time. For any decision that you want to make in life, whether it is for your personal development, professional development, or for collaboration, today is the time. Don't wait for tomorrow, because there is no tomorrow. So stay connected, and stay connected with like-minded people. Build your inner circle who is positive, who is giving you that positive energy. And you all have greatness in you, and I'm sure you will do amazing. You can contact me at .cards / Rahul Karan Sharma. You can also visit my LinkedIn profile, Rahul Karan Sharma, my YouTube channel, Rahul Karan Sharma, or you just connect with on Regina's show and help us help you. So thank you, Regina, and over to you.
Thank you, Rahul. Great show, folks. Loved everything you had to offer. You've definitely added to the discussion today. So thank you so much. Don't forget to hang around for a moment after the show. So don't hop off when we leave. But we are going to leave you, folks. We're going to leave you and hope that you've enjoyed today's show. Be sure to share it with others as you explore collaboration more in your life and are looking for others to collaborate with. You can share this show with them as well as a foot in the door for starting that collaboration conversation. So we'll see you next time here on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.